say, free, free Egypt!
Free, free Egypt!
Yes, we know that Egypt is free, but it's not really totally free. The army is still in charge, and those G8, they are planning something for us. So until we are totally free, we can say it. So let's hear for our next speaker, Maisa from Egypt. She's an Egyptian American activist. Let's hear it for Maisa in Egypt!
Free, free Egypt! Free, free Egypt! Long live Egypt! Long live Egypt!
First of all, I have to say that I am so proud. And this show of unity and support in the face of dictators and oppression is what we need to do to stand together. First, I have to acknowledge our Tunisian brothers and sisters. Are you here? We did, yes. Fantastic. Without Tunisia, this wave of revolutions would not have started. It was thanks to the sacrifice of Mohammed Bouazizi for giving his life. That kind of sacrifice and all of the sacrifices of all of our different countries, the hundreds of lives lost in Egypt and the thousands upon thousands that have been lost in Palestine and in Syria and in Iran and Yemen, and the whole region is just, it's beyond compare. So at the end of this day, because there are really no words to express our thankfulness for the people that gave their lives for this movement, we will be holding a candlelight vigil at the end of this to provide them that respect. Now, people often say, why are you still fighting for the Egyptian revolution? We took down a dictator. We took down a dictator of 30 years, dictator of a generation. But what didn't we do? We didn't take down the regime. By estimates, if the regime was 1% of the Egyptian population, that's 850,000 people that are at the top that are still running things. We're realistic. We obviously know that we're not going to topple all of those individuals, but this is the kind of force that we're up against. Currently, we have heard, and you probably all saw the headlines about how they're going to end military trials. Nice headline, right? Looked really good. Everybody got really excited. What that headline also said was that they're going to end the military trials of civilians when emergency law ends. And what happened that very Friday? They had a disaster at the Israeli embassy, and they expanded and extended emergency law to include not only people that are protesting against the regime and against SCAF, but to include anyone that is speaking against the regime.
We want democracy! We want democracy! No more hypocrisy! No more hypocrisy!
Okay, other things that are going on in Egypt, and these are internal problems. We want to be very, very clear that we are not asking the G8 to get involved in our internal problems. We want to be very clear that the G8 should only be involved in as much as they can be involved. This is to forgive our debt, to allow us to not suffer the consequences of Mubarak's corrupt regime, so that we can begin with a clean slate. We want our right to self-determination, and we want them to deal with the new Middle East as it is meant to be dealt with. The people and the dictators and their regimes are not one.
And they were wrong. And now they have a right reason to protect the Syrian civilian people, to protect our kids. Our kids will live with some kind of disorder, mental disorder, flashbacks of the killing they see every day. I'm calling upon you to be on the right side of history and stand by the Syrian people and do the right thing, because you're supposed to be the righteous people. Thank you very much.
Free, free Syria!
Free, free Syria!
Free, free Yemen!
Free, free Yemen!
Free, free Iran!
Free, free Iran!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Egypt!
Free, free Egypt!
Dear sister, sister and brother, it's great. It's great that we're all here together. You can't really tell who's Iranian and who's Yemenis and who's from this group or that group. We're here all together to support each other. So please, please, if you know of any demonstration, just come and join. Our next speaker is from Yemen. Let's hear it for Brother Ibrahim.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good afternoon all. We thank you all for coming. We thank the organizers for the event. Most importantly, we thank those who've been killed back home in Yemen, back home in Syria, in Libya, in Egypt, in Tunis, and elsewhere, and Bahrain as well. So we honor them actually, and we feel guilty that we are not doing enough for these people who've been killed. I would like to appreciate our unity as Yemenis, Syrians, Libyans.
Free, free Iran! Free, free Syria! Free, free Palestine! Okay, our next speaker from Palestine. Palestine, the country that we always support. We always feel that we are part of the Palestinian resistance. Let's hear it for Suzanne.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Syria! Free, free Syria! Free, free Yemen! Free, free Yemen! Free, free Egypt! Free, free Egypt! Free, free Iran! Free, free Iran! I'm sorry, I hope I didn't miss anybody. I'm actually the daughter of immigrants from Jordan. I have actually been one of those people who grew up in New York learning about Palestine and learning about the Arab world from my parents. I became political because of what I knew about Palestine and the brave people of Palestine and the Intifada and the struggle and the steadfastness of Palestine. Many of us, all of us, Arabs and Iranians have grown up with the knowledge of the Palestinian struggle. And today, because of the brave people of the Arab world and Iran,
Okay, switching the mics again.
Hello.
we have been given the lesson that it's not just Palestine that will sort of continue to struggle for their rights, but all of the region will continue to struggle for their rights. And those of us here must learn that we should not proceed with an agenda that focuses only on Palestine, or focuses only on U.S. intervention in Iraq and Afghanistan, but we must pay attention and stand up for the rights of those in Egypt and Syria and in Yemen and in Tunisia and elsewhere. And we're here today to give a clear message to the countries of the G8 and their allies in the Arab world to say that we will not stop until the self-determination of the people of the region are realized. And that means economic, social, and political self-determination. And that will be determined by the people, not by the governments, by the regimes, or by a U.S.-Israeli agenda, or a U.S.-Saudi agenda, or a U.S.-Jordanian agenda, or a French or a British agenda. That will be decided by the people of the Middle East and North Africa.
Thank you, Suzanne. All right, it's a small problem comparing to the problem that people are having in the Middle East and all over the world. So we're back. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Okay, we'll give Dr. Mazen a few seconds to finish his speech.
So our message to the guy meeting inside this building, we don't want a word, we want an action. We don't want a word, we want action. We want to tell the Russians not to support the dictator. We want the action. We want Bashar Assad to leave. We want him to step down. We want them to stop the killing. We want free media. We want free election. We want our children to go back to school. We want our young men to go to university. We want a job. We want a free election. Long live Syria!
Long live Syria!
Long live Yemen!
Long live Yemen!
Long live Egypt!
Long live Egypt!
Long live Libya!
Long live Libya!
Long live Tunisia!
Long live Tunisia!
Long live Iran!
Long live Iran!
Not the dictator!
Not the dictator!
The Iranians choose to have a revolution to change the dictator, not to replace it by another dictator. Mr. Ahmadinejad, we don't want another dictator. A lot of blood were wasted in Iran, not for you to take, to steal it. Please step down and let people choose their president. Thank you.
We have speakers from all the community, so please, if you are a speaker in the list, come next to the stage here.
Who stand up for democracy, who stand up for freedom, who stand up for human rights, who stand up for equality. Great brother is with us today. His name is Ayman Asawa. I'm very honored to introduce him. Please welcome Ayman.
Thank you, Sharif, and thank you all. Today, I'm not only Egyptian. I'm a Palestinian, I'm a Syrian, I'm American, I'm Iranian. I'm from every single country that resists occupation and killing. We're all united. We are all here united to throw out government that's been treating people like second citizen. I'm here to deliver a message from Egypt and to deliver a message for the G8 and President Obama. A couple of weeks ago, Israel fired missiles who killed 6 Egyptian soldiers on Egyptian soil. President Obama didn't say anything. President Obama, he didn't even say to Israel, you shouldn't do that. And the Egyptian people waited. The Egyptian free people waited for something to happen. And nothing happened from President Obama. So the Egyptian people went to the so-called Israeli embassy and they burned an Israeli flag. And then when this happened, all hell broke loose in Washington. President Obama came and said, Egypt, you shouldn't burn an Israeli flag. But he didn't say anything about killing 6 Egyptian soldiers, like he didn't say anything about killing thousands and thousands of Palestinians and Iraqis. So I'm here to tell President Obama, before January 25th is not the same after January 25th. The people of Egypt is free, and you're not dealing with Mubarak anymore. You're dealing with free people that they wouldn't take this anymore. Free, free Egypt!